Okay, so no one could hear me from the start. Let's start over this show once again here. Welcome, one and all, to Luke Fruia, Buick GMC, and Cadillac for a fantastic show coming up very, very soon. We have a lot to get to, a lot to talk about here. Yes, I missed that. I thought I had already unmuted my mic. That is not the case. So, now we start off the show. There's a lot to talk about. We have some UTRGV football news. We have College World Series talk to get to for the Men's College World Series baseball. That, of course, wrapped up this weekend. We have, of course, to tell you all what is going on this weekend for RSLN. We have League for Clubs talk, the Red Crowns to be exact, and then, yes, some with Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club, because, again, the League for Clubs talk will include that because there are a lot of scenarios for teams to make the playoffs that aren't already in the playoffs or haven't secured a spot for it in the South Texas Conference in the League for Clubs. So there's a lot, of course, to talk about. That's going to be an exciting feat to talk about. That's going to be an exciting thing to talk about. We'll start off very quickly. UTRGV football, what do they have in store? UTRGV football breaking, of course, today have officially signed a home and home game for 2030 and 2031 to play against none other than Montana. And I believe Montana State. I will definitely make sure about that very quickly. And so, anyways, I just wanted to make sure of which team that they. So it's the Montana Grizzlies football team. There we go. The Montana Grizzlies football team. I believe, truly, that that is the next team to go off to the FBS very soon. I believe that they are as good as Colorado State. So don't expect for it's 2030 and 2031 are 4 years away. 4 and 5 years away, I should say, for football seasons in general. A lot can happen in the span of that time. I'm not saying UTRGV can't go to the FBS by that time because I don't believe that that's even a thought in anyone's mind. The thought would be for the Grizzlies of Montana universe or Montana football for them to go there. And that's just, of course, my thought process towards it. Because they're always in the hunt to win the championship. They always go deep in the playoffs in the FBS or in the FCS. So therefore, I wouldn't be shocked if they make the move to the Mountain West Conference, to maybe the MAC, but if anything, going to well over there. So that's of course what we kind of were expecting, or what I'm expecting. But if that doesn't happen, that's going to be a fun home and home series because those are the non-conference games that really let you know where your team is at every single year in an FCS environment. That's why, of course, the non-conference football games for even the FBS, for example, Texas A&M this year gets to play against Arizona State at home and then on the road against Arizona State. That's a non-conference football game. That's a power football game. So in those eyes, that's what you're going to expect to find the best of. I'm very excited for it because looking forward to seeing how, of course, that will all go. Um, Meanwhile, here is to let you all know what is going on in RSLN for this weekend. There's a lot, of course, that is going on this weekend for none other than RSLN, Real Sports Live Network. Wednesday, of course, we have two shows. We have, of course, the Luke Fruia show going on right now. Then we have Talking Sports that will probably air tonight as it is pre-taped, which is kind of cool. Thursday, again, love that show, honestly. Josh and Neil do a great job for that show. I believe they're the hosts of that show, the co-hosts. Anyways, Thursday, of course, you have boys basketball at none other than Brownsville Lopez High School. And those are the championship games. Starts at 5. We'll go all the way to 8 p.m. for the final as a schedule. So that'll be very exciting. Now, Friday, this is a big thing. And like I mentioned, we'll get into it. Friday, you have at Sam's Memorial Stadium, BTX Soccer Club will play FC Westlake. And then Sunday, BTX Soccer Club will play against Capital City Soccer Club. Those are the final those are the penultimate matches for, I believe, both teams. And we'll get into that, like I mentioned here, very, very shortly because it's something exciting to talk about. Because it's getting down to the wire of that. And we start off, of course, right now. So let's talk about how both of these teams have been able to get here, as well as, of course, if I go on to the League for Clubs website. This is just something that, of course, I wanted to talk about because it's a little story in between this, which I just find hilarious. Personally, I think it is just hilarious and the definition of a lot of these teams in the league. But, I digress. So how did Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club, we'll start off with them, get to where they're next to last in the, yes, indeed, next to last in the league with an outside chance of making the playoffs? Because there are 6 teams in the conference, and then you have the conference playoffs before the regional, before the national, all that. Anyways, it's very interesting. Capital City Soccer Club, their first match, lost 4-1. Was on the road in Capital City. Then drew 1 goal each against the RGV Red Crowns. Second match of the season for both teams. Then lost 1-0 to Central Texas Coyotes FC before losing 3-0 against FC Westlake. Then losing 3-2 against Austin United on the road before playing Austin United at home, winning 3-1, getting their revenge. And then at home against Central Texas Coyotes FC, somehow knocked them off 2-1 with a late goal. Now they play at home against FC Westlake, at home against Capital City Soccer Club, and on the road to finish off the season against the RGV Red Crowns, the Highway 77 rivalry. Now, let's get into it, because here's the conference standings. Capital City Soccer Club have locked themselves into the playoffs. They locked themselves into the playoffs 2 weeks ago with 21 points right now. They hold the number 1 spot. It's not locked in just yet, but one more victory for themselves could lock them in. Because it's against the number 2 team, RGV Red Crowns, that's the match this upcoming Friday as well at Harlingen Field. FC Westlake is in 3rd place with 10 points. Central Texas Coyotes FC with 9. Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club with 7. Austin United FC are officially eliminated from playoff contention with 4 points. BTX Soccer Club are still in it because of their victories. They just about have to win out. Here is, for BTX Soccer Club, this is the scenario for them to make the playoffs. The team that they have ahead of them, FC Westlake, Central Texas Coyotes FC, have one more match left to play. They'll play their match. We'll just make sure, of course, what date their match will be played at for their final one will be versus FC Westlake on June 24th. So, given that is today. FC Westlake will be playing Wednesday and then playing Friday and then Sunday. They have the tougher schedule out of any teams remaining for a playoff spot. This is where things get very interesting. Central Texas Coyotes FC are in a must-win situation. If they win, it goes up to 12 points. That's their season. That's Central Texas Coyotes FC's season. They'll have 12 points. That would, at the time, bump them into third place. That would bump them into third place. That would be Central Texas, of course, overtaking FC Westlake. FC Westlake would then play Friday at Brownsville, Texas. Not at the sports park, at Sam Stadium. Again, I have a funny story about that I want to share. Then you go down to, with that loss, FC Westlake have to play against Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club. They won 3-0 against that team at home. They can most likely win at Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club. If Brownsville, Texas lose that match, they're not out of it yet. But would have to finish the season undefeated. Meaning, that's the biggest thing. Central Texas Coyotes FC win. They have 12 points and force Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club to have to win 2 out of the last 3 matches against, as it stands right now, the top 3 teams. It would end up being 4th, 2nd, 1st. Or 4th, 1st, and 2nd. Now, it's not impossible, but it doesn't look that likely if that scenario happens. Now, if Central Texas Coyotes FC lose, all BTX Soccer Club have to do is win one out of their last 3. Because the 3 points would get them to 10 points. That would be 1 point over Central Texas Coyotes FC. They would secure a 4th spot and be into the playoffs. And FC Westlake would hold their 3rd place with a win. That would get them to up to 13 points. And now it gets interesting. The 2 that have clinched their playoff spot right now are Capital City Soccer Club and the RGV Red Crown Soccer Club. Capital City this Friday play at Harlingen Field against the RGV Red Crown Soccer Club. If the RGV Red Crowns were to defeat Capital City Soccer Club, RGV Red Crowns would go to 19 points. Capital City would still be at 21, finishing off their season playing against Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club. Check that. That would be the penultimate match. And all Capital City really have to do right now is the same kind of situation. Is win 1 out of their last 3 matches, and they secure 1st place. They are undefeated. They have not lost a match yet. That's why they're at 21 points. The RGV Red Crowns lost against Capital City Soccer Club, drew against Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club, and that's why they find themselves in the situation that they do in 2nd place, but not clinching the 2nd place spot, but clinching a playoff spot. Top 2 would host a playoff spot. 3 and 4 would have to play against 2 and 1. So there's a lot still to play for with these 3 matches coming up for every single team. And then Central Texas Coyotes FC will basically know their fate tonight. Now, if Central Texas Coyotes FC lose tonight against FC Westlake, they would have to hope that Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club do not win their last 3. That's the crazy part about the playoffs standings right now for the top 4 spots that would secure a playoff spot. That's just the playoff scenario. We haven't even talked about how we got here for each team. The RGV Red Crowns, this past weekend, had themselves an interesting one. They finally had a week of rest, just about, after dropping 3 points against Capital City Soccer Club to 2-1. Went on the road to face off against Austin United Soccer Club. Austin United Football Club. My mistake there. On June 20th. It was at a 6 p.m. kickoff time. RGV Red Crowns, from what we could tell, looked very in sync and won 3-0 against Austin United. That was the end of Austin United's chances at making the playoffs. And so that's been their last match for the RGV Red Crowns. And now the RGV Red Crowns get to come back home and get to have all of their starters, including Isidro Martinez, including Sergio Davila, including everyone that decided not to really go on the road for their team. Because in semi-pro soccer, in the league for clubs, a lot of times it's up to the players if they want to go on the road trips, especially. And now with the RGV Red Crowns of how deep their roster was, their lineup has been, it's not it wasn't necessary for each team to do that, or each team member to go on the road half the time. Now, even last Saturday, there was a red card. Or not this past Saturday, but the Saturday beforehand against none other than Capital City Soccer Club. And that was something interesting. Now, this, of course, Aravera has served his, if I'm not mistaken, it was him. Either way, the player has served their suspension and will be back for the starting 11 for this weekend. Friday, of course, and then we'll get into the Saturday match. It's exciting. It's exciting, especially for the RGV Red Crowns. There is a good chance now that with the RGV Red Crowns, they can get the 3 points because they're back at home. This is going to be an electric environment for this team because they have not been home in ages, and the promotion has been out of this world. May I remind you that the RGV Red Crowns have been on your TV during the World Cup. Whether you've been watching the matches, the World Cup matches on Telemundo or on Fox Sports, aka Fox, you have seen the commercials, the Bank of America commercials about the RGV Red Crowns. That's not a local commercial. The whole entire nation has gotten to see those. So there has been a lot of publicity. There has been a lot of promotion for the RGV Red Crowns without even people realizing it. So it's very exciting that this team, of course, is coming back home and they'll have an opportunity to secure at least second place in the playoffs, because history has been made that they've already accomplished that, but there's a good chance that they can accomplish more. So very exciting right off the bat. I'm going to take a quick break because we need to, of course, take a break. And then when we return, we will talk a lot more about this league for clubs and breaking down both of the matches coming up very, very soon. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
No importa en cuál etapa de tu vida te encuentres, Texas Almus College está aquí para ayudarte a progresar. Ya sea que estés empezando desde cero, cambiando de carrera o adquiriendo nuevas habilidades, TSC tiene programas accesibles diseñados para adaptarse a tus metas. Es hora de dar el siguiente paso. Piensa en grande, piensa claramente, piensa en TSC.
Time to take a new look, maybe your first look at Buick. If smart, hip, and affordable is for you, Buick's your brand. Fruia Buick, Brownsville, Texas.
Back we go once again. Here it was a short, of course, little break, but we're back. Because once again, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. I'm Jacob Young, the Surreal Sports Live Network, RSL in here. Bring you all coverage of, well, breaking down all the coverage coming up into this weekend especially. Last left off, of course, talking about the RGV Red Crowns and their victory over none other than Austin United. It was a solid victory for them, 3-0. Now, of course, moving back to a little bit of BTX Soccer Club, they were able to get the job done 2-1. A late goal for BTX Soccer Club. Both of those goals were late, and 2-1 final. BTX Soccer Club saving their season. Because if they had lost that one, again, they would have still been at 4 points, and it would have been very difficult for them to make the playoffs. It still would have allowed for also Austin United, if I'm not mistaken, to still be alive or potentially still be eliminated because of their situation too, where they might have already had one more match remaining as well. We'll, of course, double check that for you all because I just wanted to make sure about all of the League for Clubs teams, and I understood why Austin United were eliminated because they had 4 points because of the loss against the RGV Red Crowns. Let's go all the way down to the final match for them is against Capital City Soccer Club. So Capital City Soccer Club gets to finish off their season on the 3rd against Austin United FC. So we have to wait a little bit for that final match for them, which is completely understandable. And that would have been the situation, is that Austin United still would have been alive in the playoff picture, but they would have known their fate this week. So going back to it, it's very interesting for this situation in general. But again, Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club, they got the win, 2-1. There's nothing more to say about that. The tactics have been interesting. They're saving their season, just like the RGV Red Crowns did a year ago. But the League for Clubs looked a lot different 1 year prior. Here's the story that I wanted to talk about very quickly, and this has to do with Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club. So, of course, I've been the commentator for the RGV Red Crowns now coming up on 2 years. RSL in, I get to do this, and I get to work for them part-time. RGV Red Crowns during the summer, I get to work for them specifically, and it's a really cool deal. I love every minute of it, always have. Now, here's the thing. I break down the soccer matches for the Red Crowns on Instagram a lot because it's fun. It's fun to do that. And Wednesday, I believe, or check that, this past Saturday, finally all the matches were done and all the playoff pictures were updated on the League for Clubs Twitter. So I decided, with the green screen as well, the green screen tool that they have on Instagram, to do a video about it. Well, on the schedule, again, on the League for Clubs website, wherever you find it, it says this one thing. All BTX soccer matches are at Brownsville Sports Park. Well, obviously, they're not now that we know this. The last 2 matches for BTX Soccer Club are at Sam Stadium. But this was before. So anyways, I make the video. I break everything down, all of the scenarios, stuff like that. And then said something along the lines of, well, we'll see what happens at Brownsville Sports Park for BTX Soccer Club. And I, of course, tagged the Red Crowns, and I tagged down in the valley, which down in the RGV to be exact, because that's my colleague that is my color commentator. Anyways, that drew attention from Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club's admin for Instagram, for social media. And that was weird, because in the comments, this is how I found out that the games were at Sam Stadium. 3 straight comments go, the rest of the matches, in all caps, the rest of the matches for the Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club are at Sam Stadium. And then goes on to post both of the dates. In all caps. A little weird. a little weird. Just a little bit. Completely understand, but it came off very hostile in the comments. So I just deleted them and just posted on my own and said, according to BTX Soccer Club, the matches will be played for BTX Soccer Club at Sam's Memorial Stadium. That's it. That's all. So I thought it was hilarious. It's been, of course, days since, but of course, thought that was interesting, to say the least. So, looking forward to seeing how this goes. Let's break down, of course, for the RGV Red Crowns this weekend. They play against the top team of Capital City Soccer Club. These two teams seem to go back and forth on the road, but or for Capital City Soccer Club to be exact, Capital City Soccer Club, of course, have been undefeated. They have looked the best, but that was one of the best matches that I think I've seen from not necessarily RGV Red Crowns, but just the competition against them. And that was a very difficult match for the RGV Red Crowns to figure out about, and now they are back at home, like I mentioned. They'll get to have potentially Isidro Martinez on the front line for this team. Kate Erickson will be a part of the team. Vicente Alvarez still as well. Aravero potentially on the defensive side with both of the Lithuanians on the field at the same time as well, potentially. Point is, this team will look very, very powerful on Friday night. I'm expecting a great match. There is a good chance that it could be a draw. But as for the RGV Red Crowns, this is a team that they have been very good with revenge. They have been very good with avenging losses from the season so far. Of course, they last year got defeated by Austin United twice, beat them twice now. Central Texas Coyotes, they took care of business, were able to defeat them. And now, of course, FC Westlake on the road, a team that was at the time in second place, got the job done 3-0 against them, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4 goals. Point is, this is a very, very strong team when they're focused completely. And that's what I want to get at. This team has to remember to focus, to have full focus, not allow for their emotions to get the best of them, to not allow for Cap City to do exactly that, or FC Westlake. And if they're able to really control their emotions on the field, remember that this is a game that they've always loved, that they've been playing for since they were children. This is going to be some spectacular 2 matches at home. They will still have a third one, but we'll talk about that, of course, next week because it's on July 3rd. This is going to be a fun homestand for the end of the season for the RGV Red Crowns. And it's going to be interesting for Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club. As we talked about, they'll move their home games to Sam's Memorial Stadium, as we've mentioned before, for their final 2 before traveling down Highway 77 to play against the RGV Red Crowns one final time. Will they be in the playoffs by that time, or will they still be hunting and alive in the playoff picture? We'll find out soon. It's going to be exciting. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we return, we will move on from some soccer talk. We'll quickly talk about the College World Series. We might move back to soccer, but we'll be talking about the World Cup. We'll be right back after this. Stay tuned.
In the heart of the Rio Grande Valley, a spark was born. From the first dreamers who stepped onto these grounds, Texas Southmost College has stood as a promise that determination can overcome any challenge. Join us as we honor our past, celebrate our present, and ignite the future together. Texas Southmost College, 100 years strong, and the next 100 begin with you.
I fell on a loose towel at the grocery store, and now they're saying it's my fault. Do you think you could help?
Of course I can help. You should be focused on feeling better.
Oh, thank you, Law Champ. Hey, do you think I can get a selfie?
Of course.
This is the island where even the grown-ups forget what day it is. South Padre is more than an island. It's the island.
The middle. It's in! And it's another touchdown! Keeps the line. Somehow that becomes a hit. And that's going to be a fumble recovered by the Cardinals.
At Tortilleria Ibañez, flavor starts fresh every day. Crispy flautas, homemade tamales, and our signature chicken salad, all made for you. Tortilleria Ibañez, tradition on every plate.
It means a lot to me. TFC has changed me to make me realize that I can accomplish things. Just don't give up. I've come a long way from where I was to what I am now, and there's no limit to where I'm going.
Give your little one the best start at Brownsville ISD's Pre-K 3 and Pre-K 4 programs. At BISD, 3 and 4-year-olds develop fundamental skills that pave the way to lifelong success. With quality educators, access to the latest technology, and free nutritious meals to fuel the day, our young minds explore and learn in exciting new ways. Enroll your 3 and 4-year-old today at Brownsville ISD, the best choice.
Kenny Perez came from a small town in Texas. At Kenny Perez Law, we won't stop fighting until our clients get what's rightfully theirs. We're right by your side, no matter what. Call Kenny Perez Injury Lawyers today, 956-999-1111.
Back we go once again to hear from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC and Cadillac. If you're in the market for a new car, come check it out. Located, of course, in beautiful Brownsville, Texas. Well, we're moving on, pivoting just a bit away from soccer to focus a little bit on baseball, college baseball to be exact, as their season has officially ended. And I can officially say that really I kept up with just about every single college sport this year and the full realm of things from, of course, college football, college basketball, college baseball, top three, even college soccer, as well as watching some college lacrosse, following, of course, some college golf because of the fact of some UTRGV players who made it there. So, I can tell you, it's really been a college season for myself, which has been very fun. But anyways, this was exciting in general. I love the College World Series baseball in general, and it brings joy to me every single year. The 8 teams, it's a really cool deal. So, and this is what made things even more interesting for me. The Oklahoma Sooners were taking on North Carolina. North Carolina Tar Heels have been there several times, but have never won the national championship. And I was thinking, well, there's a chance that they might do it this year. Very quickly changed. First game, Oklahoma Sooners took care of business in game 1 on that Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see how could North Carolina bounce back and make sure to make it to a game 3, winner take all. Well, the Tar Heels did exactly that, took care of business, really defeating the freshman pitcher early on. He had to be relieved. And then, again, just North Carolina and the Tar Heels taking care of business 19-2. Then the Oklahoma Sooners said, okay, we'll wake up from that nightmare of game 2 and just absolutely take care of business. And they defeated them, I believe, final score was 12-3. Not 13-3. Well, 12-3, I believe, was the final score. in that one. And the Oklahoma Sooners are your 2026 college baseball Men's College World Series national champions. So absolutely phenomenal for the Oklahoma Sooners. Congratulations to them. And it's potentially Texas's worst nightmare that ended up happening. So Oklahoma Sooners win the national championship. And in the span of that time, Texas A&M took their associate, I believe their assistant coach for college baseball, putting them on their staff for college baseball as well. And so that was something that the news, not a lot of people expected, to say the least. So very exciting once again for that. Just brings the rivalry a little bit more on both ends, OU and Texas A&M and Texas for every sport. Anyways, moving on. Now it is time to break down a little bit of the World Cup talk, because I'd be silly if I didn't talk about the biggest event going on in the United States right at this second. United States, Canada, and Mexico, and basically the whole entire world. It is the World Cup. So, of course, the FIFA World Cup now officially today goes back to Group A, and it is the final group. It's the final group play of today, thankfully. And I believe they have one of the last group stage matches going on beforehand, but then at 8 p.m. it is Group A playing in their group stage. And the cool part about it is, of course, to not let any type of game manipulation happen. They have to play at the same time. So, Mexico, of course, will play wherever they'll play, possibly Estadio Azteca, possibly Guadalajara, wherever the case may be. And then the other two teams that are in their group will be playing. Now, Mexico have already officially secured the first spot in their group due to the fact of they won both of their games head-to-head, as that's a new rule coming in. And so, sure enough, I believe that the last team on the bottom has been eliminated from the potential of making it to the round of 32, which would be the first knockout stage. So that's it for them. And the next team that, of course, Mexico will be playing is Czechia. And that will be very exciting for themselves. If they can win that group stage match, they'll go 3-for-3. It won't benefit their seeding at all. It won't benefit where they'll be placed. They're already the winners of their group, so they'll get the best pull if they possibly can, which will be a third-place team. United States men's national team, on the other hand, did something spectacular as well. They've tied the most matches that they've won in a World Cup tournament, and that has been 2. 2 matches, of course, won. That was a fantastic deal for this team. The U.S. men's national team, of course, as we've talked about before, they defeated none other than Paraguay in their first match, 4-1, which was fantastic on the opening game on the Friday. And then, of course, last Thursday, or I believe actually last Friday. Yes, indeed, last Friday at 2 p.m., they defeated none other than Australia, 2-0, scoring both goals in the first half and making it very exciting. The second half, of course, Australia could not do anything, and so they elected to basically play rugby in the second half against the United States men's national team. Did not work for them, but they did have a lot more attacking opportunities in the second half. United States men's national team did not start or play Christian Pulisic. He was out for that match, and now news has come out that he is practicing in full. So there's a chance he starts tomorrow. There's a chance he will be on the bench tomorrow for their match at 8 p.m. due to the fact of, well, again, you have already successfully won the group. Why risk playing Christian Pulisic where he could potentially get hurt before a more important match, the round of 32, the knockout stage, that they will most likely be playing against Qatar. But right now, there is a good chance that Bosnia and Herzegovina and basically BH will be playing against none other than the U.S. men's national team, too, for that third place. Of course, that's how it is. I believe we'll tell you exactly when that match is to let you know when to tune in for that match, particularly so that the U.S. that they'll know who the U.S. men's national team will basically be playing against in the FIFA World Cup. Because that's exactly what's going on right now. Both games, yes, Bosnia and Herzegovina are playing right now. Bosnia and Herzegovina are up 2-1 over Qatar. Qatar would be eliminated with this loss, obviously. Bosnia would go through, and that's who the U.S. men's national team would be playing against. It's 2-1 right now in the 44th minute, so just not halftime yet. They'll still have to play with the extra time, the added time, the stoppage time in between that. Switzerland and Canada, 0-0. That is for the winners of that group, because Canada, I don't believe, have locked it down just yet. They might have gone 2-0. Check that they drew their first match, now that I remember it correctly. They're sitting on 5 points with Switzerland, but would top the group if that were to stand. That's being played at BC Place right now. So, interesting enough. Very exciting for all the matches that have been going on in this World Cup. That's, of course, a match to be truly intertwined in if you're a U.S. men's national team supporter or anything like that, because you know who the U.S. men's national team would be playing by tomorrow for their next match, which will be on the 1st of July. So that's very exciting indeed. We're looking forward to that. As for Mexican national team, I don't necessarily know. All I know is that they've locked in their first place, and we'll see how that all plays out, of course, in the span of possibly today or possibly tomorrow as well. Very exciting, as we mentioned. Moving on, though, of course, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of the show, there's still a lot to talk about. One of the things that I want to talk about as well is two events that are happening this weekend as well. On Sunday, it is the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen, and that's something, of course, to take a look at because, well, Cadillac are in that as well. They were in Le Mans a week ago for some of the drivers, and now back in the United States will be in the Finger Lakes, to be exact. That is New York State, basically up there, and it should be exciting. The U.S. or Yes, in the U.S., to be exact. It's one of my favorite events, 6 Hours of the Glen. Normally, there is weather that intertwines with that event, but I don't think that that's going to be a factor this weekend in general. Don't quote me on that, though, because I have not looked at the weather radar or anything like that, but I would not be shocked if it is absolutely a perfect Sunday morning, because they're doing the IMSA is working with the SRO teams, to be exact. And what does that mean? Well, because the 24 hours of Spa is also this weekend in Spa-Francorchamps up in beautiful Belgium. And so that's the 24-hour race in Spa. That's a Saturday. That'll go into, of course, Sunday morning for the U.S., and then all of a sudden you have the 6 Hours of the Glen, which that's always exciting in general. So Cadillac, of course, that's one of the teams that you can look for in the GTP side of things at the Salem 6 Hours to potentially get the job done, and especially the Welland team, the Welland Cadillac team. They look pretty strong. Wayne Taylor Racing's all of a sudden coming up in a big way for Cadillac. They're starting to be successful, which is a good thing. But, of course, if I were to root for a Cadillac team, I'd root for Jack Aitken's team. I really like that driver a lot. I think that he deserves to get one of those crown jewels. And a crown jewel intends to be the Salem 6 Hours. It intends to be none other than the 24 hours of Daytona, the 12 hours of Sebring, and the Petit Le Mans at the end of the year with the 10 hours. That's just in the United States itself, besides Le Mans, where Cadillac had a chance, but not his Cadillac to be exact. And so it's been an unfortunate ride in that so far. But that's what you can look forward to on the endurance side. Now, of course, with the Samantha Tan Racing cap, with a Samantha Tan Racing hat, they will be racing not on the 6 hours, the Salem 6 Hours, but during that weekend, they will have the Michelin Pilot Challenge as well. And Samantha Tan Racing with Random Battles Racing will look to potentially add on from that podium and get a victory this year. At Watkins Glen, there's a good chance. Bill Auberland, of course, he's been making a couple of posts on his Instagram, which I've liked to see, saying he is the winningest driver when it comes to Watkins Glen in IMSA, in the ALMS series back in the day. So that's always exciting. Again, Samantha Tan Racing, they're trying to build off of a successful weekend in that 4-hour race at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. So absolutely exciting for this season and for this weekend. Again, like I mentioned, the 24 hours of Spa, always a beautiful spectacle because it starts off with all the Trop of the Green Flag up a Rouge Radion, and it's all GT3 racing, but there's at least 4 races in between just the GT3s in general, from the amateur class to the Pro-Am class to the Pro class. So at least 3 races in between that, as well as, of course, there's another series called the IGTC, which added about 40 or so cars to the grid alone, and they're racing for a championship themselves on top of that. So it's just, like I mentioned, about 4 races in between one race itself. Absolutely fantastic. Looking for this exciting race weekend. And so much, of course, going on with the World Cup, too. So we look forward to that. Not that much left until, of course, the college football season begins, because college baseball is over, and now we're just over 60 days until the season kicks off. And that's going to be exciting. There's a lot, of course, of events that are happening too. Not only that, the X Games are coming up very soon. I'm a big fan of the X Games, always have been. It's changed over the years, but it has stayed the same with the character, and I cannot wait to see who's going to be able to win gold medals in general. Summer X Games are always fun. You're going to look for a lot of, my favorite events for that is street in the skateboarding side of things. I really love, and the fur, of course, always love that. And then there's a couple of other events that I can't necessarily think of at the moment, but speed and style is always a fun one too. Looking forward to all of the events coming up very, very soon. Let's go back, of course, and talk a little bit more about what there is to expect this season. For the rest of the season for the RGV Red Crowns, and it's going to be good. The RGV Red Crowns, like we mentioned, they have their last 3 home matches at their home, where they don't move, at Harlingen Field. Absolutely should be exciting. I've talked, of course, to the owner. He's saying that it's looking like it's going to be none other than beautiful home opener 2.0, because they have not been home since the 24th, or just after the week after Memorial Day weekend. That was their last home match. They've been on the road for basically this whole entire month. Business trip in Austin every single weekend. They've had a couple of matches that have been midweek, but since then are finally coming back home. This is a big event in general. And again, I want to speak to the team. This is important. You cannot get complacent of where you're at. Being able to compete in the playoffs is big. But what's bigger and what needs to happen is being in front of your home crowd. Taking care of business at home when it matters. 12 points still for grabs. You've got 3 of them, so now 9 more points up for grabs for this team. Getting all 9 of those points will be massive because one of them is against the top team. That's against Capital City Soccer Club. They'll most likely, if the Red Crowns win this Friday, will most likely get 6 points. The Red Crowns can get the rest of their points, or 6 points that they have. So, that's the way it will go. The RGV Red Crowns looking to be victorious. So, I can't wait for it. There's not much else really to talk about around the, not nation, but around just sports talk in general. Of course, your Brendan Sorsby update. It was interesting as officially there's no NFL supplementary draft, so therefore Brendan Sorsby can't go to the NFL. He decided to forego his college athletic football season with Texas Tech. He's not going to be allowed, I don't believe, back. So he's out of football for at least 1 year, which is something absolutely crazy. And not much else to say to really talk about. NBA draft, of course, was last night. It was successful. So we'll take a quick break. When we return, we will wrap up this show. Stay tuned.
The standard of excellence has always been Cadillac, so be iconic and drive one. Fruia Cadillac, Brownsville, Texas.
Rev up your future with Texas Southmost College's Auto Body Repair Program. In just 2 semesters, you'll gain the skills to become an auto body repair specialist. Learn using industry standard iCar Academy to get you job ready fast. If you're ready to drive your career forward, TSC's Auto Body Repair Program is the place to start. Classes are filling fast, so visit tsc.edu and apply today.
Back we go once again here, wrapping up the show officially. Once again, I'm Jacob Young, Fruia Sports Live Network, going all the way till 2 p.m. Or going all the way till 3 p.m. actually. It's been a very exciting week of sports. There's not much else to really talk about as a lot of the sports are officially ending. But we do have baseball, we do have soccer. And so, of course, auto racing, like I mentioned. RGV Red Crowns, as we've mentioned before, they'll have their penultimate match this Sunday, their third to last match this Friday, and then, of course, we'll play on the 1st of July against none other than, check that, actually, 1st of July is going to be the U.S. Men's National Team. The 3rd of July is going to be against Brownsville, Texas Soccer Club at none other than Harlingen Field in front of what should be a packed house there for their final home match of the season. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the rest of this season indeed. for both teams because it's going to be very good to see how these two teams will fight for a potential chance. Anyways, that's going to do it for us here from Luke Fruia, Buick GMC, and Cadillac. Again, if you're in the market for a new car, come check it out. And again, check out the events on RSLN this weekend, from championships to some semi-professional soccer from the League for Clubs. It's going to be exciting as well. But that's going to do it for us here. I've been Jacob Young. This has been a Real Sports Live presentation. And until next time, we'll see you all